Tay laughed and teased Jimmy. After eating and drinking, Tay saw that To was drunk. He suggested that To go to his room immediately. To said that he wasn't drunk. But seeing To's condition, Fa intended to escort him to his room. Jimmy stood up and said that wasn't necessary, because he would escort To instead. Fa could stay there, and Tay also had to stay there. Jimmy helped lay To down. When Jimmy was about to leave, To stopped him. He wanted Jimmy to stay with him because he was afraid of ghosts. To wanted Jimmy to stay until he fell asleep. Jimmy agreed. He sat beside To, seeing Jimmy being close to his older brother. Tay was clearly annoyed and also worried. Fa, noticing this, said that if Tay was worried, it would be better for him to check on him himself. Tay replied that he couldn't go. He didn't want to leave Fa alone. Hearing that, Fa thought that Tay was avoiding him. Fa moved closer to Tay, and they almost kissed. But Tay pulled away. Fa asked whether Tay didn't want to kiss him. Tay explained that Jimmy liked Fa. But for Fa, he didn't like Jimmy. And he didn't want to be in a serious relationship. Fa suddenly kissed Tay. Tay was carried away by the moment and accepted the kiss. Because it was already late, it was better for them to go to sleep. Fa asked whether he could sleep in Tay's room. Meanwhile, Jimmy, who had just come downstairs, could see Tay staring at him. Jimmy explained that To was afraid of ghosts and had asked him to stay by his side until he fell asleep. Jimmy asked why the two of them had come back. Whether they had run out of snacks. Fa said no, they were going to sleep. Tay also added that tomorrow he would be the one driving, so he couldn't take any risks. Fa went to his room, and before that, he said goodnight. In his room, Jimmy felt happy because Fa had said goodnight to him. Jimmy asked what Tay had said. Tay replied that he had only told Fa that Jimmy liked him. Jimmy became very excited. He asked what Fa's answer was. Tay only explained that Fa didn't say anything. Jimmy felt disappointed and curious about the answer. Even so, he was still happy, because the air conditioner in their room was broken. Tay immediately called the accommodation staff. But since it was already midnight, all the technicians had gone home. At first, Jimmy suggested that they sleep without clothes. Of course, Tay didn't agree. Jimmy then suggested that they sleep in To and Fa's room. And this was Jimmy's opportunity. Jimmy and Tay went to To's room. Jimmy started sleeping on the bed and intended to sleep near Fa, while Tay slept on the floor. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough space for Jimmy. Tay suggested that Jimmy sleep on the floor with him. Jimmy said he didn't want to because his back would hurt. So, whether he liked it or not, he slept next to To. Feeling that everyone was asleep, Fa woke up. He moved to sleep beside Tay. Fa tapped Tay's nose. Tay immediately woke up. Fa asked whether he could sleep beside Tay. Tay agreed. Fa then told him that he had once seen Tay at a club. Maybe Tay hadn't noticed Fa at the time. Fa complimented Tay, saying that he was very attractive. No wonder Tay was always with new people. Fa then asked Tay an important question. Had Tay ever wanted a serious relationship? Tay explained that he used to, but he didn't know what love felt like. Every relationship Tay had was only about sensation. Once the spark disappeared, the relationship ended as well. Tay felt that he couldn't love someone with his whole soul. It would be better to be alone. How could there be love without devotion? But Fa asked again. What if one day Tay found someone to whom he could give his whole heart? But what if it turned out the opposite way? Wouldn't that destroy Tay? For Tay, at least he had to love someone. Hearing Tay's answer, Fa kissed him. It didn't stop at just a kiss. They spent a hot night together. Tay covered Fa's mouth so he wouldn't make a sound. And without the two of them realizing it, Jimmy woke up and knew what they were doing. Jimmy immediately covered Toe's ears. Toe asked whether Jimmy was okay. Jimmy could only apologize, and all he needed at that moment was a hug. Sad and disappointed, Jimmy hugged Toe. That's all for this part. See you in the next part. Thank you for watching. Until then, have a nice day.